What's going on, guys? It's Brian coming to you from the TST garage / workshop area. It's the first episode of our series on the R3 Superbike build. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about what's going on with the bike right now. We started to really get into the project a little bit over the past week. We did just get our captive spacer system back. You can see here we have our stock spacers. Pretty heavy. Feel like they're probably made out of steel. We have our 3D printed prototypes, but if you can see on that detail, they don't print out all that well all the time. They're not perfectly circular, and you get some little support areas, so these were kind of hard to test. So we went ahead and asked our local machine shop to mill us out some of the actual aluminum spacers that we plan on putting in this bike. These do have a little captive retaining ring as opposed to the OEM. I'll show you just exactly why we're doing this in a second. I'll show you the rear. This is the OEM spacer on the brake side. See how easy that came out? It's a tiny little touch on my thumb. So when you're trying to throw this thing up in and you're trying to line this spacer up with the brake carrier, trying to get the rotor to sit in the actual caliper, it's a very, very difficult process, and these just become so cumbersome, so easy to knock out. It takes so many tries to get that right. So we're gonna go ahead and test out our very first spacer, brake side on the rear. If you do want to see, just before I put that in, we have a nice little retaining ring here, which is going to go down in past the seal and sit just underneath so that it actually gives this spacer a little bit something to hang on to. So we're going to get that in there, rotate a little bit so that that seal seats. So you saw how much effort that took. This one, a thumb. This one, I really gotta try to get that out. That's gonna help us during wheel changes in between races and just make this a little bit of an easier system. If you guys will follow me, we're gonna head down to where Bart is working on the actual bike and frame. He's doing some electrical stuff right now. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Alright, so guys, we made it over to the area that Bart's been working on, the R3 Superbike. Take a look. Very, very stripped down. Took everything off the bike right now. We're getting ready to do all the rebuilds that we need to, whether it be the forks, the head bearings, the swing arm bearings. Might not do those. We'll do a little visual inspection once we get the bike more taken apart. If they need replacing, we will replace them. As you can see, we were talking about some electrical stuff here. This is that harness. This is a lot heavier than you guys would expect. So all these little blue areas, Bart is going to go through this harness and actually snip off any of the redundant stuff.
Hey guys, so we're doing some frame modification here. Chopping off some unnecessary parts. We've shed 1.5 pounds already. These pieces came off these rear tubes. They're meant for passenger seat location. We don't need them. So we're just gonna cut them off. You can see on this side. I already finished it. You just have to primer and paint over that, but we still have to do a lot of different spots. We have a couple locations down below, up, forward, under the forward engine mounts. We're going to go through the bike pretty good here. One problem I'm having right now is the decision of what to do about this rear part. It's pretty bulky. I could probably get rid of 2.5 pounds here, maybe a little bit less. The problem with Superbike rules in the classes we run, the VIN has to be unaltered. So I have a feeling if I win against somebody that's being a little B, they'll report me to tech and they'll check this, and if this is missing, we're gonna be stripped of our winning podium or wherever we placed. So I think I'm gonna leave this intact, maybe cut off some of these bottom pieces, and that will be my compromise to take off maybe another pound, but still keep it legal. All right, I'm gonna get back to it. You guys enjoy.
are, guys, in our fulfillment area. We have a convenient little scale that we use usually for our shipping weights, but actually right now we're gonna just weigh this OEM harness with all the extra stuff on it. There's, we'll get a little bit of discrepancy from the tape that we have on it, but it'll be so minimal. We do want to see the difference in the stock versus our Superbike spec, which we will actually make a replicable part so that we could even bring a harness in-house, do the exact same modifications, and get that sent back out to somebody that wants to race one of these R3s. So we're going to go ahead and throw this on the scale. Let's make sure it's tared out already. What do we got? We got 0. No, we got welcome. All right, so we're at 0. Throw that harness in there. Make sure none of these stragglers are touching anything, giving us any sort of weight discrepancy. Look at that, guys. Over 5 pounds of just pure electrical connections on that bike. We're gonna snip off some of these plugs, some of these harnesses. Most of it's plastic, we got copper in the wires, so it's not gonna be too big of a weight difference, but in Superbike building, any ounce that you can shave off of that bike that's extra and you won't need is gonna make you more competitive. So catch us next time on the next episode. We'll be working on this a little bit more, give you an update on how much weight we actually shaved, and just give you a general update on what's going on that bike. Catch you next time.